Hi, in this video we're going to have a look at the equation of the circle. Now, the equation of the circle, where the center is the origin, is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So this is for a circle where the center is the origin. Okay, r is the radius here in orange. That's just a diagram to show you a circle around the origin is in the form x squared plus y squared equals r squared, where r is the radius. Let's just jump straight in and have a look at an example. Find the equation of the circle. Okay, so I know the equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. In this case, what is r? R equals 12. So let's sub in x squared plus y squared equals 12 squared. What is 12 squared? It is 144. That's our equation. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Find the equation of this circle. Now, I haven't given you a radius here like that, but there technically is a radius in that diagram. Remember, this line here, I'll get a different color. This line here is a radius, this is a radius, this is a radius, and this is a radius. Okay, so a line going out here is still going to be 3 units. You can see it crosses through 3 up the top, minus 3 and minus 3. So r equals 3. So our solution, we know it's around the origin. The origin's the center, so it's in the form x squared plus y squared equals r squared. X squared plus y squared equals, what is our radius? Our radius is 3 squared. X squared plus y squared equals 9. Well done, that's it. Let's keep going. Find the equation of a circle with center 0, 0, so it's around the origin, and diameter 16 units. So that's really important. Center is 0, 0. So let's just draw a quick sketch. It's always good to draw a quick sketch so we can visually see what's going on a bit better, x and y. Now it's around the origin. I'll try and draw this as neat as possible. That will do. Okay, just imagine it's a perfect circle there around the origin where the diameter is 16. So diameter equals 16. What would a radius be? Okay, what would a radius be? Half the diameter. So the radius equals 8. That's all we need to find, because the equation of a circle with the origin as the center is in the form x squared plus y squared equals r squared. We just figured that r is always half the diameter. Okay, our radius is 8. Let's sub that in. X squared plus y squared equals 8 squared. Therefore, x squared plus y squared equals 64 is our equation of the circle with center at the origin and diameter of 16 units. We're now going to have a look at the circle within the form x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. In other videos, we've looked at the parabola y equals a x minus h squared. Okay? And what did this do? This moved the parabola across the x-axis. Something similar is going to happen when we are in this form. It's not going to be at the center. Okay? The origin is not the center for a circle in this form. So you might have a circle up here with this point as the center. There might be one down here. So it's not, the origin is not the center when it is in this form. So let's highlight this or put it in a box. So this form, oops, I'll just get the pen. So what we can say about this one is the origin 0, 0 is not the center. And like I said before, it might be the point, the center might be there, and it might go like that. okay, or so on. It might move up or down. So when we look at this form, you have to think to yourself, that does not have a center at the origin. Let's have a look at an example. Find the center and the radius of a circle, or of the circle, represented by each equation. Okay, so part A, I have got x minus 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 9. So I'm just going to put here in orange this x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So that's the form. What can we tell about the radius straight away? Okay, what squared gives me 9, or the square root of 9? So the radius equals the square root of 9, which equals 3. Because another way of writing 9 is 3 squared, and that's in this form here. So we know that our radius equals 3. Now we have to think about the center. It's a coordinate point. Now remember when we had, for example, let's use a different color here. When we had the parabola y equals 2x minus 5 squared. And this would be a parabola, and I said to you, whenever a parabola, okay, is touching the x-axis here, its y-coordinate point is 0. So its y-coordinate point there on the x-axis is 0. When it hits the x-axis right there, the y-coordinate point is 0. So what value of x will make all of this 0? Because 0 squared is 0. 0 times 2 is still 0. We know that when x equals 5. Okay, 5 minus 5 is 0. Y equals 0. So this would move 5 spaces to the right. Okay, it's gone 5 spaces to the right. We have to think about the same process when dealing with the circle. So here, what minus 2 gives me 0? 2 minus 2 gives me 0. What minus 5 gives me 0? 5 minus 5 gives me 0. So the center is the coordinate point 2, 5. So if you were to draw a quick sketch, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up here is the center, and there's a circle going all the way around there. You get the idea. Okay, it doesn't want us to graph it, but that's just the idea of where it would be. It'd be somewhere, maybe up there like that, with a radius of 3. Let's do another one. So we're finding the radius, and we're finding the center of a circle. This is part B, represented by x plus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 16. So let's deal with the 16 first, the radius. Okay, we know the radius. What squared gives me 16? Or in other words, the square root of 16 equals 4, because 4 squared is 16. So our radius is 16. Let's have a look here. I have to think about this. What plus 3 gives me 0? So this is the center, the coordinate of the center. What plus 3 gives me 0? Minus 3 plus 3 gives me 0. What plus 1 gives me 0? Minus 1. Okay, minus 1 plus 1 gives me 0. So over here, Here we have a quick sketch, just a really quick sketch. Radius 4, but center minus 3. So 1, 2, that's minus 3, minus 1. Centered there. It's going to look something like this. Okay. Now we could sub in, okay, values for when x is 0, we'll get a y-intercept. When y is 0, we'll get an x-intercept when plotting it on graph paper. But I just want to show you here that the center is minus 3, minus 1. And our radius is 4. So no matter where you go, that's 4. That's 4. My diagram isn't perfect, but you get the idea. Part C. Let's find the radius and the center of x squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 1. So here, this is kind of half of the x squared plus y squared equals r squared. And then there's also these brackets here. So when I had x squared plus y squared equals r squared, where was the center? That's right, it was at the origin. So here the x coordinate of the center is at 0. Okay? Let's think about it. Let's do the radius. We know the radius. What squared gives us 1? 1 squared gives us 1. So the radius is 1, or the square root of 1 is still 1. Think about this now, guys, the center. When you don't see brackets here, like this, no brackets, it should remind you of this, and that means it's at 0, 0, the origin. So the x coordinate here is at 0. Then you just think about this like we've done in the last two examples. What minus 6 gives me 0? 6. Minus 6 gives me 0. So that is at the center, 0, 6. So, quick sketch. 0, 6 is up here. It's going to go like that, where the radius is 1. Everywhere you go, it's 1, 1, and so on. The radius is 1 no matter where you go around the circle. This is the last one. X plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 40. So it's definitely not going to be at the origin here. It's in this form. Let's think about the radius first. So here, 40. Is anything squared 40 in this case? There isn't a nice whole number that will square to get 40. We know 7 squared is 49, 6 squared is 36. So what we need to do is, just like we did up here, we square rooted the number on the end here. I square rooted 9. Down here, the radius is the square root of 1, which is still 1. So what we need to do is square root 40. So the radius is root 40. Let's have a look at the center. So this part here, what plus 1 gives me 0? I know, minus 1 plus 1 gives me 0. What minus 4 gives me 0? 4 minus 4 gives me 0. So, where's the coordinate point? Minus 1 is about there. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, just a quick sketch. So this is the center here, because that is the coordinate point minus 1, 4. And it's going all the way around with a radius of root 40. Okay, root 40 in your calculator, root 40 is 6.32. Yep, that's about right. It's about 6.32, but it's a surd. It keeps on going, so we just have to leave it in its surd form, root 40. And just to finish off this video, what is blue and looks like a circle? That's right, a blue circle.